Welcome to another Godot 4 C# tutorial, number 10, the video menu. In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss Godot's video modes and what I think will be the best video menu for 2D games. Programming the video menu was pretty technical, so I will be doing an explanation of the completed system instead of live coding in this video. I had the video menu all hooked up to the main menu and is ready to go. After that, the initial settings from GameData need to be applied to the game on start. So the following methods have been moved or implemented into GameMaster: initialization of video settings, audio bus index setup, and initialization of audio settings. The application of the video settings is handled by GameMaster so that GameMaster and VideoMenu can both apply video settings using one method. The audio bus index assignment has been moved to GameMaster so that the code is only written one time, but will be able to be used by both GameMaster and AudioMenu. Download the Godot project tutorial number 10 from my GitHub. Link is in the description below. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the video menu scene, or as I'm calling it, the video menu PFB for prefab, just like in Unity. I have exposed 4 fields that point to each of the components that we're going to manipulate: the window label, the check button, the resolution label, and the options button. And Godot has actually 2 toggles that are available, and I chose the one that looks like a pill. If you want to use the other one, you can just change the type and change the type in the code. I got a resolution menu, which is an options button. It's just called option button, an apply button, and a back button. So let's go ahead and hop into Visual Studio and take a look at the code. So I used the export groups to group those exported fields together for both sets, for the window and for the resolution. Now, the way that this system works is when you go full screen, the game will be to the screen size of the monitor's currently set resolution. Godot doesn't change the resolution of the screen when it goes full screen, even if you specify it. So the resolution chooser itself only applies when you're in windowed mode. So we got our exported fields ready to go and ready to be set up. And since they are exported already, I don't need to go ahead and pull them in with the get node method. During ready, I go ahead and see if the current window mode is full screen, and if it is, I set the check button to be true. Otherwise, I set it to false. I set the window label using a method that I created called setWindowLabel, and it takes a boolean. So the boolean that I'm going to give it is the win check button and give it the state of the button pressed. And if you come down to take a look at it right here, and it just says is set, and it will say full screen or windowed. The next part is add defined resolutions above to the options button. So we're going to go ahead and go down there. And the list of resolutions is stored in GameData.cs. So let's go on over to GameData.cs. And here's our windowed resolution presets. They only come into effect when screen mode is windowed. Godot does not change the resolution of the monitor when it goes full screen. It uses the resolution as is. It's a dictionary called Windows Resolution of type integer, and I used the majority of the 16:9 resolutions that I felt were most pertinent: 480 by 270, 960 by 540, 1280 720, and so on up to 4K. If you want to add another one like 8K, you could just copy the last line, paste it, and go ahead and change the values how you see fit. Up above is the resolution index, and that's going to keep track of which windowed resolution that you're currently going to run at. So this is set at 3, and remember that dictionaries start at 0. So we got 0, 1, 2, 3. So by default, the window size is going to be 1920 by 1080. If you want to do a different default size for your game, like if you want a 1280 by 270, you would change that to a 2. change resolution index to a 2. If is full screen is true, when the game starts, the game will start in full screen mode, and this window resolutions and resolution index will not matter. If it is false, then the window resolutions and resolution index will matter. We add the resolutions to the button, and the way that the list works is that it just gets a bunch of strings in the button list. So I'm just constructing a string. So I'm getting an item key, I'm adding a X and the item's value. So the 2 integer values for each dictionary term in GameMaster GameData window resolutions. And then it is adding that to the button repetitively until it runs out of entries. I have the linked up signals on the bottom. On back button up, it takes you back to the main menu and turns off this menu, and it saves the game data. On window mode check button toggled, it will change is full screen to the toggled mode that the button is in when you click on it or toggle it with that enter key. And then it will also set the window label at the same time. On resolution options button item selected, when you select one of the resolutions from the drop-down menu, it will change it to the index. So the button only returns an integer, and the integer starts at 0, depending on which item in the list that the user selected. To finish it off, I have on apply button up. So the actual application of the video settings are in GameMaster, so the code is only written once and can be run at the start of the game when GameMaster initializes on auto load. But also it's here so that we can run it again when the settings are changed. Let's go ahead and hop over to GameMaster and take a look at what's changed. The first thing that I'd like to show you is the audio buses. The audio buses from the audio menu have been moved into GameMaster to be set up and used one time and be shared between GameMaster and AudioMenu. And then we're going to come down here below the load player slots. The new stuff is apply game data video settings on game start. So we'll apply the game data video settings, and this is what will also run when you click on the apply button on the video menu itself. It'll say if the game data is full screen, then it's going to change it to full screen. If the game data is not full screen, then it's going to set it to false, and it will issue the correct Godot command to make it windowed. One thing that I had to do was, since we're using a dictionary to store these as key values, we need to use the resolution index to find which entry we want, and then we still need the key and the value to plug into our vector2i, which is what Windows set size takes from display server. So what I did is I included system.link using the using command. So if you come up to the top, I have using system.link, and that gives us access to additional dictionary functionality. So I say integer key equals GameData.resolution element at GameDataResolutionIndex.key. So that will give us the integer from the key that we want, and also the value that we want from the dictionary. And that will stick each value into the vector2i. And after it is done applying the resolution, it'll save the game data, and that's it, it's done. And moved over, we have the setup for the audio bus indexes. Since they turned out to be something that could be just set up anywhere, I moved it over to GameMaster so that GameMaster can utilize it. And of course, GameMaster will also set your audio settings for each of your bus channels. Just like last time, but instead of it being an audio menu, it's in GameMaster. And you'll come over and look at it. So the audio bus indexes are set up, and then apply game data audio settings. So when your game starts up, the video settings that the user has saved will be automatically applied, and the audio settings that the user has saved will also be automatically applied. And the icing on the cake is that now also the menus can also change this and save the data, and then when the user closes the game and reopens the game or whatever, they can have the settings there and it will work the way that the end user will expect it to work. So if we come back over to 10 main, I've added the video menu PFB to the list, and I created a new button to open up the video, and all I had to do is add a signal to it and show layer and do item entry number 3. So I got 0 is main, and then I got start is 1, 2, 3, and quit button does not show a layer. Quit button quits the application. And on the main node itself, on the inspector, I have extended the array. So 0 is main, 1 is save, load, quit, 2 is audio menu, and 3 is video menu. And that is everything for this video for the video menu. Now what I'd like to do is go ahead and show you the system working. So we're just going to go ahead and hit play. Okay, and then go ahead and hit video and change it from window to full screen and hit apply. And there you go, now it's full screen. You can go back and hit apply. And I can choose a really obvious resolution. I'll choose 480 by 270 and then hit apply. I find that sometimes you have to select it 2 times. I'm not quite sure why it does that, but I'll look into that more. So I'm going to just choose 480 by 270, hit back, and then I'm going to quit out of my game. And if I go back into my game, you're going to see that it's really, really tiny. I just hit video, and I'll just make it 1920 by 1080, hit apply, and that's working. And we can also test out the saving and automatic loading of audio menu too, so I can just do something like GameMaster, and I'm going to try to make them all like 75. And I'll make the music 25%. And then I'm just going to hit back and then quit. Go ahead and hit play again. Go into the audio menu, and there they are. All my settings that I chose before are now back to what they were, and I can just pull them back to what the project should have. What I could do is add a reset button to make them back to what I'd like them to be in GameMaster, and that can work as a template to be the default settings. But for right now, it's the very basic implementation of the menu systems. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and I hope you have a great day.